Selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri kepada semua. I'm Prasad Michael and you're watching Kini News, the show that brings you today's biggest stories. In today's episode, after recording double-digit number of daily new cases for the past 21 days, Malaysia is back to a triple-digit daily increase. But Dr Noor Hisham says there's nothing to worry about. After that, we'll see how a group of people got themselves in trouble for attending a wedding. Malaysia reported a spike of 172 new COVID-19 cases today, with 159 involving foreigners, with a bulk of it linked to 3 immigration detention centres.
Ingin dimaklumkan, daripada 172 kes baru yang dilaporkan, 5 kes adalah kes import yang mendapat jangkitan di luar negara. Daripada 167 kes penularan tempatan, 159 kes adalah bukan warga negara Malaysia, di mana 112 kes telah dikesan di 3 depo tahanan imigresen. Orang ramai tidak perlu bimbang kerana depo-depo imigresen ini merupakan tempat yang diasingkan daripada masyarakat umum dan dikawal oleh pihak berkuasa.
This means only 8 new local cases today involved Malaysians. The death toll remained at 115, with no new fatality caused by the virus today. Now, all undocumented migrants, immigration staff and those who service the depots, including food suppliers, would need to undergo a comprehensive COVID-19 test.
3 depo tahanan imigresen telah disaring. So far we have done 3. That is Bukit Jalil, Semenyih and Sepang. In Bukit Jalil, we have 1,536 detainees and 126 positive at the moment. And we are doing the screening for everyone. Just like we are doing for EMCO, so regardless whether it's a staff or even a detainees, we will do for everyone. For Semenyih, we have 1,631. They have been tested and screened. We found 66 positive so far, and in KLIA Sepang, 1,346. And 36 were found positive at the moment. So we are still waiting for the results.
Dr Noor Hisham said a high number of cases can be expected in the next couple of days as more test results come in. The government continued to stress that Malaysians need not worry about the immigration depot cluster, as the undocumented migrants were locked down at the depots. Before the press conference ended today, Dr Noor Hisham also shared a Hari Raya message.
Sekali lagi saya ingin ambil kesempatan ini mengucapkan selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri, maaf zahir dan batin daripada Kementerian Kesihatan dan saya sendiri kepada seluruh rakyat Malaysia, dan saya harap semua rakyat Malaysia dapat patuh kepada SOP untuk kita meraihkan Aidilfitri pada tahun ini. Tahun ini adalah tahun yang unik untuk kita meraihkan Aidilfitri, iaitu kita merayakan Hari Raya Aidilfitri secara tertutup tetapi dengan hati yang terbuka. InsyaAllah kita dapat memutuskan rantaian jangkitan COVID-19 di negara kita, insyaAllah.
The last time I checked, the CMCO is still in place and a limited number of houses of worship are only allowed to open with strict SOPs after June 10th. But that didn't seem to stop a group of people from holding a wedding at a temple. Police have opened an investigation paper after a group of individuals gathered at a Hindu temple in Sri Kembangan, Serdang for a wedding ceremony on Sunday. Serdang District Police Chief ACP Asmadi Borhan said police investigations revealed that a wedding ceremony did indeed take place, as reported by a news portal yesterday. Initially, the police stated that the wedding did not happen based on their initial investigation. However, the temple management later admitted after being questioned on the matter. Commenting on the incident today, Senior Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob said action will be taken against all those involved, including the guests who attended the wedding.
Jadi, apa yang berlaku ini adalah melanggar undang-undang dan saya difahamkan pihak polis sedang mengambil tindakan kepada penganjur ini, termasuklah kepada mereka yang menghadiri majlis perkahwinan tersebut.
Ismail Sabri also stressed today that though a small number of non-Muslim houses of worship may open their doors starting June 10th, with strict SOPs in place, weddings at these places will not be allowed.
Kita hanya memberikan kebenaran beribadat, tetapi tidak membenarkan lagi. Walaupun sampai 10 hari bulan Jun tu masih belum dibenarkan lagi untuk upacara perkahwinan di rumah ibadat mereka. Tidak boleh upacara kematian misalnya diadakan di di rumah-rumah ibadat. Untuk pengkebumian, mereka boleh buat pengkebumian di tanah perkuburan dengan jumlah yang hadir tidak boleh melebihi 20 orang.
Yesterday, a news portal reported about 100 people attended the wedding, and the report was accompanied by a video of the event, which has since gone viral on social media. Meanwhile, police yesterday issued 214 compounds on those attempting interstate travel for the Hari Raya festivities, while 14 more were issued to those found to have travelled to their hometowns without authorization. Isma said Selangor once again topped the list of states with the highest number of vehicles caught attempting interstate travel without authorization.
Semalam, sebanyak 1,243 kenderaan cuba merentas negeri atas alasan yang sama, nak balik ke kampung, dan telah diarahkan berpatah balik oleh pihak PDRM walaupun dan dibandingkan lebih banyak dengan hari sebelumnya.
With the spike in new cases involving the immigration cluster, where will they be treated? The government has thought of a solution. The Malaysia Agro Exposition Park, Serdang or MIAPS, will now be used exclusively to quarantine and treat undocumented migrants. During his daily press briefing on security matters involving the Conditional Movement Control Order, Senior Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob said all detained undocumented migrants at immigration detention centres who have tested positive for COVID-19 will be sent to MIAPS for treatment and isolation.
Dan MIAPS ini akan dijadikan sebagai pusat kuarantin khusus untuk parti pendatang tanpa izin yang daripada depo yang didapati positif COVID. Positif. Jadi kita asingkan mereka daripada rakan-rakan mereka yang lain daripada depo tersebut. Ini untuk memastikan supaya tidak merebak menular COVID-19 di kalangan tahanan parti, tahanan depo yang lain, tahanan di dalam depo yang lain.
Ismail assured Malaysians that though the number of those infected in the immigration detention cluster is high, they have nothing to worry about because the undocumented migrants have been confined away from the public. Security at MIAPS have also been stepped up to stop anyone from escaping.
Saya baru pulang daripada MIAPS mengadakan tinjauan dan sebagainya. Kawat-kawat besi telah pun mula dipasang untuk mengelilingi MIAPS itu untuk mengelakkan adanya parti yang melarikan diri. Tentera, polis, daripada Jabatan Immigration sedang berada di MIAPS bagi mengawal mereka. Dan begitu juga dengan barisan hadapan lain terdiri daripada doktor, jururawat dan sebagainya berada di MIAPS.
Patients who were earlier quarantined and treated at MIAPS have been transferred to the Sungai Buloh Hospital. Ismail also revealed that a total of 4,342 undocumented migrants were detained at the 3 depots, with 1,654 at Semenye, 1,334 at Bukit Jalil, and 1,358 at KLIA. A DAP lawmaker has put Malaysia in an awkward position, according to a MCA leader. MCA Central Committee member Chew Kok Wah has slammed DAP lawmaker Charles Santiago for allegedly putting Malaysia in an awkward position by signing a joint international memorandum against China. Charles was part of 191 parliamentarians and policymakers from 23 countries who issued a joint statement condemning Beijing's, quote, unilateral introduction of international security legislation in Hong Kong. Charles signed the memorandum as the chair of the ASEAN Parliamentarians for Human Rights. Chew said it was disgraceful for Charles to join many Western lawmakers and politicians in criticizing China when Hong Kong was part of China. The MC leader added that Charles put Malaysia in an awkward position because the country has excellent ties with China. Responding to Chew's criticism, Charles defended his right to express his views on the national security legislation in Hong Kong. In a statement to Malaysia Kini, the Klang MP urged Chew to read up on the concerns expressed against China's long-term desire to strengthen its hold on Hong Kong. Coming up next, Americans aren't letting the coronavirus spoil their holiday spirit, and deja vu in Hong Kong as a similar scene returns. All that and more after this. The Memorial Day weekend was in full swing as Americans came out to play. Americans sunbathed on beaches, fished on boats and strolled on boardwalks this holiday weekend, but the occasional person wearing a mask was a constant reminder that the world is still battling the coronavirus pandemic. The long weekend drew Americans out of their homes in what, for many, was their first big break from the coronavirus lockdowns.
Glad to see everybody out and trying to get back to a normal life.
Are you worried about getting sick?
No, because I believe God's got me. I try to kind of stay away from as many people as I can, but not today.
The Memorial Day weekend that signals the start of the US summer is normally a time when cemeteries across the nation is filled with American flags and ceremonies to remember those who died in US wars. This year, the holiday weekend is when the US death from COVID-19 is expected to exceed 100,000. The New York Times filled its entire front page with the names and selected details of 1,000 victims on Sunday to try to capture the humanity of the lives lost. All 50 states have relaxed coronavirus restrictions to some degree. In some states like Illinois and New York, restaurants are still closed to in-person dining and hair salons remain shuttered. In many southern states, most businesses are open with restrictions on capacity. Total US cases are over 1.6 million, the highest in the world. A plea by health officials and many state governors to wear masks in stores and in public is being met with protests and resistance from some Americans. Social media is filled with videos of businesses turning away a few angry customers who refuse to cover their mouths and noses. Unrest returns to Hong Kong since the COVID-19 lockdown restrictions began, as thousands protested Beijing's plan to impose national security laws on the city. Black-clad protesters and tear gas returned to Hong Kong streets on Sunday. But if you're suffering from a sense of déjà vu, here's what's new. These are the biggest protests since lockdown restrictions began. The reason? Beijing's plan to impose national security laws on the city. Thousands marched through Causeway Bay amid fears that the one country, two systems formula, which guarantees broader freedoms for the global financial hub than exists on the mainland, is under threat from China's tightening grip. Democratic Party politician Lam Chuek Thing said the situation is critical.
We are worried that the Chinese Communist Party make use of the evil law to further suppress Hong Kong people.
Sunday's rally was initially organized against a controversial national anthem bill, but the proposed national security laws sparked calls for more people to take to the streets. Police fired tear gas to disperse crowds in chaotic scenes reminiscent of last year's at times violent mass protests, and some protesters tried to set up roadblocks. China has dismissed an international outcry over the proposed legislation as meddling and says the laws are necessary and will not harm Hong Kong's autonomy or foreign investors. But the backlash against Beijing's play intensified on Saturday as 200 political figures from around the world said in a statement that the proposed laws are, quote, comprehensive assault on the city's autonomy, rule of law and fundamental freedoms. And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook for the latest news updates. I'll be back with more tomorrow, same time, same place. I'm Prasad Michael. Thank you for watching.